Hi everyone, welcome back to AI Test Automation series. So far, we have written UI test against Amazon and API test against RESTful Booker public APIs. They are great for learning, but there is one limitation. They are completely unrelated. We can't build realistic end-to-end scenarios that combine UI, APIs, AI, and performance testing because we don't own that application. In this video, we will fix that. We will use AI to generate our own e-commerce application, deployed to Google Cloud for free, and access it through a public URL. The best part here, no domain purchase is required. This will become our own production-like testing playground where we can write UI tests, API test, a chatbot test for LLM validations, and K6 performance tests against the same application. By end of this video, you will have a real application running in the cloud that we can use throughout this series. So let's get started. To build the application, I have already created the prompt. Let me show you. So this is the prompt I created for generating our testing playground application. So create a Next.js application inside my Playwright repository under a folder named platform. Build a simple e-commerce testing playground that will act as a system under test for demonstrating Playwright UI testing, Playwright API testing, LLM testing, and K6 performance testing. And what I want also I define clearly because I can give a vague prompt like create a Next.js application that act like a playground. But we don't know what kind of application it will build. That's why I gave clear instructions. I want a product listing page, product details page, shopping cart, a chart bot, REST APIs for product. All the details I gave and asked it to use best practices, generate all required files and ensure project build successfully by running this command. Okay, let me copy this one. Let me open claude.md2 before giving the prompt. Okay, it's saying I will create full Next.js app, router, TypeScript. It's creating the application in a new platform subfolder using standard generator. Let's wait for a few more minutes. Now it's planning the structure. So it's defining the product catalog and mock data. And it is setting up the chart endpoint. It's creating all the files one by one. It created types.ts. Now it created products.ts. The next file is cartstore.ts. Now it's creating all 5 API routes in parallel. By defining your requirements clearly, you can build any app within an hour uh, and you can make your own testing playgrounds. It created 8 to-dos. It completed the first one. Now it is creating the REST API routes. Then it will build all the pages for us. Product listing page, details page, shopping cart page, a chartbot page. Then it will update the route layout. Then it will finally run this command to check that there are no errors. Now it's creating the UI components and pages for us. First it is creating the reusable components like product card, add to cart button. Once it is created, then it will create the actual pages for us. Okay, it created product listing page as well. Now started with creating product details page. Okay, it built product details page too. Now started with shopping cart page. Okay, it created shopping cart page as well. Now it's building a chartbot page. To test AI chatbots, we need to configure an LLM model. I am planning to integrate Olama or some other models, but we don't do it as part of this episode. I will do it and we can write test cases for LLM validation as part of future episodes. Now it created all the pages and it is updating the layout. Now it's creating env local.example to help us understand the configuration structure. So I asked it to make a configuration for Olama model. So it gave us two keys to provide Olama model name and the base URL for Olama. Once you have set up in your laptop, Olama runs on 11434 port. That's why it gave it as that's why it gave that URL for us. In the future episodes, we'll do this configuration. For today, it's not required. We can go ahead with Volama or some other model. But yeah, in the future episodes, we'll decide it and we'll go ahead with the LLM validations. My plan is to make this application ready for all kinds of testing. That's why I asked for a chart model integration too, so that I can show all kinds of testing with this single testing background. Now it's compiling the project and it will fix the errors if it finds any. Okay, finally it created the project. So it is explaining all the files. So what types.ts will do, what's the purpose of product.ts. Uh, it has 8 hard-coded products, cartstore.ts, navbar, and it created couple of APIs as well. Then it's giving us instruction to run this app. I have already run this app. You can see here it is running on localhost 3000. Let me open it. Okay, our e-commerce website is ready. It has 8 dummy products. When you click on add to cart, it will be added to the cart. You can go to the cart page. You can clear the cart from here. You can continue shopping. And we have a chart option as well. If we integrate Volama model, then we can try it out, but I don't want to do it as part of this episode. I planned a separate episode for that. We can discuss that configuration and LLM validation as part of that episode. Okay, this is good. Our testing playground is ready. Now let's deploy to Google Cloud. Okay, so for Google Cloud, what you need to do is just type Google Cloud console. You need to open cloud.google.com. If you have a Gmail account, with that it will be logged in. And in the project, after creating to deploy it in Google Cloud, we need instructions, right? So I ask the cloud only, give me the setup guide to deploy the project in Google Cloud Run. So it created it. It mentioned all the instructions we need to follow to deploy this application in Google Cloud Run. Once it listed down all the instructions, I asked it to create the setup guide inside the platform folder. It replaced the readme.md with all the instructions. You can see it here. So it listed down all the instructions within the readme itself. Then I committed the changes to our Git repository. You can see it here. Now our repository contains the platform folder that has entire source code of this e-commerce application, and we have the readme as well. That readme will provide us all the instruction to set up this app within Google Cloud Run. Using these instructions, if you build any application, you can also deploy like this. Let me explain you free limits of Google Cloud. If you search for Google Cloud Run free tier requests per month, you can see it here. It's 2 million requests per month. If you utilize the app beyond 20 lakh requests per month, then only you need to pay the amount. For our testing background, I don't expect more than 1000 requests per month. So yeah, I can happily use the Google Cloud Run free tier to deploy this application. You can also use it if you are building any application, want to share it with your friends. You can make use of Google Cloud Run. Without registering domain also, you can deploy it. It will provide a public URL that you can share it with anyone. Okay, now we'll do the setup in Google Cloud Run. I will open readme.md inside the platform folder to know the instructions. For local development, it gave all the instructions, but I want it for Google Cloud Run. So I will follow these commands. In the deployment guide, it missed one important detail. It didn't add any steps to clone the environment. Uh, there are a couple of ways to deploy an application to Google Cloud. Since we didn't give any direction, it gave a one of the paths. Like you need to build the Docker locally and then you need to deploy it to Google Cloud Run. But I didn't have Docker setup in my local environment. I did it in some other way for one of my application, a exam prep. So I will refer those instructions to the Claude and I will ask it to update the readme.md. In this way, we can directly clone the project into Google Cloud Run. We can create the Docker image using Google Cloud Shell and we can deploy it directly into the Google Cloud Run. That is straightforward instead of having lot of setup in our local environment. Okay, it replaced all the instructions. Now it is giving us the steps to do git clone as well for our project. Now we can see the new commands here. So first it is asking us to do SH key setup for the GitHub. I have already done that. So I am skipping these steps, but if you are doing it for the first time, you need to follow these steps to do SH key setup for your GitHub. If it is a private repository without SH key setup, you cannot clone your project. Once you open your Google Cloud account, you can activate Cloud Shell by clicking on this icon. Click on Authorize. Okay, Google Cloud Shell is connected now. Let me run this command to check the GitHub connection. I have already set up my SSH key. That's why it's saying you have successfully authenticated. If you are doing it for the first time, you need to follow these steps so that your GitHub repository will be connected with the Cloud Shell. Then we need to clone the repository. First, let me switch to this directory. Then let me clone this one. Our Playwright AI exam prep test. Let me clone our Playwright AI ecom test project. Now the project is cloned. So this command will create a project named ShopLab Platform Prod for us. Then we need to link it to the billing projects and also whatever command it gave. Let me copy that and I will paste it here. So it is creating a new project for us to deploy our application. Okay, it created a project for us named ShopLab Platform Prod and it switched to that project also. Good. Now let me enable these services. I have already enabled. So let me rerun. Okay, operation finished successfully. Good. Now we need to create an artifact registry. Let me copy that and execute here. Okay, it created repository also. Now this is an optional step. When you deploy your application, every time it will create a Docker image. If you don't set up a cleanup policy, all the Docker images will be stored forever and it will unnecessarily waste the memory and you may exceed free tier limits. It's good to set up the cleanup policy so that it will always maintain latest two Docker images and delete the old ones. This is optional step, but I recommend this one as well. It's asking me to check the platform/docker file. Let me go to that location first. Let's compare package.json line. Both are same. So next config.ts is also part of platform. Let me check that as well. It's saying next config.ts must have standalone. We have standalone here. So this is also good. Now we need to build and push the image using cloud build. Let me copy this. Control X to close this one. We are already in platform folder. It is asking us to switch to platform. Since we are already in platform, I am directly running this command. So it will create a tarball of our entire project and it will uh, push it. It will take some time. Let's wait. It pushed the project. Now this is the last step. We need to deploy to Cloud Run. Let me do that as well. You can see here it has given as a service URL. Let me open it. See, our shop lab e-commerce testing site is ready. We have a production URL without registering any domain. This URL I can share it with everyone and they can also use it for their practice. So in this way, you can build applications using Claude and deploy it to Google Cloud Run for free, and you can share it with your friends and colleagues. As I mentioned, if you are doing it for the first time, you may face several challenges because I have already deployed two applications into my Google Cloud Run. So I set up my billing account. I enabled a lot of services earlier. That's why it's straightforward for me. I built that Docker image and I deployed to Google Cloud Run. But when you are doing it for the first time, you may face several challenges. As I mentioned earlier, you need to take screenshot of that error message, give it to ChatGPT or Claude, follow the suggestions given by the agent. I did in the same way. I solved all the issues one by one. Finally, I deployed it. I hope it is clear for everyone. If you have any questions, you can ask me in this video comment section. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.